1 second.
Good luck on the run.
Thank you. Okay. Alright, so... Hi. So we're just going to start the timer on section of the file. And... we're going to go on go. So 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is Pokemon Rumble for the Nintendo Wii. Came out in 2009, and it is a WiiWare game. And it has 4 sequels, so Pokemon Rumble Blast, Rumble U, and Rumble World. Personally, I think this is probably the superior Rumble game, and we'll get into that in a bit. But basically what this category is any percent no passwords. So the game is, each category is basically separated by passwords and no passwords. Passwords are codes that Nintendo came out with when the game was new, that when you put it in the game, you were able to get specific Pokemon, whether that being like a few legendaries, some Pokemon that had really good moves, or with special traits. But we're not going to be using those passwords in this run because this is a no passwords run. The benefit of using passwords, though, is you don't have to rely on RNG as much, but it's a little less fun to watch. Is a basic thing. For no passwords, there's a lot more like routing on the spot and having to have a lot of knowledge for the game and what Pokemon is good and what moves are good and stuff like that. So there's more RNG in this run, but there's lots of stuff that can happen, and definitely a lot more entertaining. So right now we're just going through our tutorial. We're gonna be able to skip all this stuff after the tutorial level, which is just Ivysaur. But basically, this Rattata is not supposed to be going into the Battle Royale right now. And even if I were to actually beat the Battle Royale with this Rattata, which would take really, really long anyway, even if I were to beat it with Rattata, it wouldn't let me, and it would just say that I lost anyway. So you just want to die as soon as possible. So like there's Wigglytuff, Butterfree, Parasect are like the main Pokemon you want to go towards, but it's RNG which Pokemon is spawned in there. So the only stage we can go into right now is Silent Forest, so it's just tutorial. And right before text boxes spawn, I'm going to do a little tackle just to get a little bit more leverage, I guess, on how far I'm going. Just a tiny time save, it's not really that big of a deal. So right now I'm just going to be skipping everything else except for getting this Pikachu. It's part of the stage that I have to get the Pikachu. And also, the Rattata is pretty weak. I think it's only... The Rattata is usually on level 29-ish. And then the Pikachu can range from a 48 to like a 52, 53. We got a 51, which is pretty good. And we're just gonna stay as Rattata just because it's a little bit faster. So the point of this run is each rank there's a certain power that you have to get in order to enter the Battle Royale, because obviously the Rattata learned the hard way that you can't enter the Battle Royale with not high enough power Pokemon. And power is kind of like levels in this game, except you don't level up, you just get more powerful Pokemon. So for rank C, which is the rank we're in right now, the power that we need is 100. So we have to enter more and more stages, and then you get more powerful Pokemon. So like, the more stages you defeat, the more powerful the Pokemon become until you get the power that you need. So what we're going to be doing in this category is going to the least amount of stages possible, but by also getting Pokemon that can do the Battle Royales in a timely fashion and also get through the stages fast enough, which also kind of ties into having a lot of knowledge and such for the game, because you can't just only go for Pokemon that are good for fighting, and you can't only go through the stages as fast as possible, because if you don't have Pokemon for fighting, then you can't win the Battle Royales faster. But if you can't go through the stages fast enough, you're gonna lose a lot of time. So it's a lot of balancing. And this boss always drops. It is possible to get other bosses to drop, but Ivysaur is like always going to drop no matter what. So he's not useful though. We're not going to use him at all. All right. So there are out of the 6 stages, the 3 stages that are always going to be the fastest in terms of just length of the stage are the Windy Prairie, Fiery Furnace, and Eternal Tower, and they're all on the right side. They're just shorter. All the rooms are shorter than the other stages. The Pokemon are also usually better, but we'll get back to the Pokemon being better into it in a little bit after I go through to a few more stages. So right now I'm killing Spearows and Doduos because they are the better Pokemon in this stage, and Doduos specifically because I would like to get a Pokemon with Quick Attack. The Spearow that I have is really good. 90 power is actually really rare to get this early on in the run. And it has Peck, which is a really good move for attacking. But it's ideal to get a Doduo with Quick Attack. Quick Attack is a move that kind of just throws the Pokemon forward, and it doesn't have that much startup lag and it doesn't have that much end lag, so you can just continuously keep using the move and it's really fast. But I didn't get that. I got a 90 power Spearow, which is it's not faster for the room, but it's a lot faster for well, it's not a lot faster, but it's something that I can continue the run with. It's not like a run killer if I have this, so it obviously got done with that boss quite fast. So, but it's really good RNG to get Pokemon that have moves that kind of throw the Pokemon forward, like Aqua Tail, Iron Tail, Quick Attack. Those are those are like the main moves that we like to look for in these runs. And Quick Attack is the one that is the most likely to be on a Pokemon when you pick it up, so that's what we go for the most. The Eternal Tower in Rank C is actually a little bit shorter than the Fiery Furnace, but the boss in the Eternal Tower is a Marowak, and Marowak has a lot of defense, so it's actually faster to go here just because the boss fight is a lot quicker. We're just going to be dodging Pokemon as fast as possible, and a plus side to having not having Quick Attack is that there's a lot less lag, because when you hit a Pokemon, there's going to be a little bit of lag in the game, like that. That's a little bit more lag than usual because it just dropped, but there's always lag whenever you hit a Pokemon. So the less Pokemon that you hit, the less lag there is. So that's another aspect you have to look into when you have a Quick Attack Pokemon or anything like that. But we're just gonna finish this Charmeleon off. Now we're gonna start aiming for our power Pokemon. So once you complete 3 stages, that is around the time that you'll be able to find the power that you need. In this case, 100. And we're gonna go to the stage that would have the best Pokemon for that, for fighting, which in Rank C is the Rocky Cave. We're gonna we want to get him a Chop with Karate Chop, but there's a few other instances that can also work okay. So we got a Geodude. I'm gonna look at what attack it has before I fully do. Okay, so Magnitude isn't that bad, so I'm actually gonna go on with this. Magnitude is like not a terrible move to have, honestly. It's just a little bit more luck than what you kind of would want to have, but it's definitely something that you can work with. And the power isn't too bad. 108 is pretty good. But it's most prevalent in Rank B, and I'll get back into that when we get into Rank B. But you can find the power that you need in the 3rd stage. It's just very unlikely. So that's why we complete 3 stages and then go to a 4th stage that has the best power, or best attacking power basically, and then go from there and just get our power there. So this battle royale specifically is going to be a little bit different than usual, just because we have this specific move. But basically, instead of dropping money in the battle royale, it drops time because we're on a time limit. If we either lose 3 times, so if I die with 3 different Pokemon, or if time runs out, then I lose the battle royale, and I have to redo it. So, on top of trying to speedrun it, you also want to make sure you don't run out of time. But it's pretty hard to run out of time, especially in these early ranks. It's really not that hard of a battle royale. And if worse comes to worse, and I die with this Geodude, I do have a pretty good Spearow, which is good to have backup. Okay. Alright, so since Geodude's obviously really slow, I'm gonna switch back into the Spearow just so that I have something a little bit faster. And the end goal for this game is to become like the most powerful fighter. That's why that little screen right there pops up. Okay, I'm gonna get this Pidgey out. Okay, so in this stage, we're going to be trying to get Pidgeys and or Pidgeotos. Guess is not the greatest move, but we'll work with it. So I don't want to go too far out of my way right now. Rank B and A are pretty tedious. Rank B is the rank that can be the fastest rank in the game, depending on your RNG. It's most likely that you'll get so in this rank we need 200 as the power. It's most likely to get your 200 power in the 3rd room than any other rank for whatever reason. So we try to use that to our advantage and try to get that 200 power early. But especially for this category, it's rough, because if you don't have a good enough Pokemon for fighting, then it's not going to save enough time. So we just got 2 Pidgeotos. Hopefully okay, they both have quick attack, so we're gonna go with the more powerful one, and we're gonna be able to show off some quick attack. Oops. So another downside to a quick attack is that it kind of hones in on Pokemon sometimes. So even though I'll be holding one direction, it'll kind of want to go for another Pokemon, but most of the time it's quite it works with you. And a plus side to quick attack is the attack that kind of throws the Pokemon away from me, or the boss uses to push me away. Quick attack cancels that like animation, like just like that, and it doesn't push me away, and I just get to still do damage to it. So that's a plus side to quick attack. And I can go into special traits now, or just like Pokemon that there's ways to know that Pokemon's gonna drop. For instance, both of these Pidgeotos were kind of had like a sparkly tint to them, is the best way for me to put it. They just kind of had stars surrounding their character, like just little tiny stars. Whenever you see that on a Pokemon, that means that they're going to drop no matter what. just 100% of the time. So it's just luck whether it happens or not, like whether the stars are around him. But once you see one, it's going to drop. Other ways to know if they're going to drop is if it's a shiny Pokemon. Shinies always drop 100% of the time, and shinies also have a special trait 100% of the time. And special traits in this game enhances the gameplay in some way, shape, or form. So, for instance, the one that is like the most wanted in a speedrun is called a speedy Pokemon, and that enhances the walking speed of it like ×2. So it doubles its walking speed, so it's a super fast walker. So you don't have to deal with lag or anything like that, and you can still get to the stage like super fast. There's also stuff that like kind of enhances the like getting money more, or attack power, or defense, stuff like that. And it's special traits can be really useful in a run like this. And you can tell whether it has a special trait or not, whether it's either shiny or the little art, I guess, around the Pokemon when it drops. It looks different than what it normally does. But we don't have any of that right now. We might see one later. But usually in a no passwords run, you want to pick up anything that has that, that is a special trait, just because it could be a speedy, which would be really useful. And it's very unlikely for it to happen, but it is possible for us to get a 300 power here, so you can see how this works out. And if you ever need to get like a Pokemon for like speed or just for fighting somewhat, Kadabras are really useful. The only downside to Kadabras is that they're really weak in defenses, but they're really good with power and they're really fast. So, all right. So let's see how Electabuzz is going to treat us today. All right, no drop. That's fine. So usually the power that you would get if you were to get 200 here, it'd be the Electabuzz. But yeah. Alright, so we got that. So now, instead of going to the Rocky Cave, we're going to go back into the Fiery Furnace. The Pokemon here are just more... They're all really good with battling, honestly. You could do the Battle Royale with Voltorb, Ponyta, Growlithe, Arcanine, Rapidash, Electrode. You could do it with like almost all of them. Plus, if you were to get lucky enough to get like a Hitmonlee or a Hitmonchan, they're really good with the Battle Royales. So that's what we're going for right now. Getting the best RNG right now. And you don't want to kind of stay in each room too long, because it's just not going to be worth it. You just want to go into the later rooms, and the later the rooms, more likely it's going to be the higher power, so... Okay, there we go. Speaking of good luck, we got a Hitmonlee. Let's see what moves. Okay, double kick. That's a good move. So, also, the reason I don't like just exit the level or beat the level, obviously going and beating the level would take a lot more time. And if you exit the level, it doesn't save any of the progress that you made, so it doesn't save any of the Pokemon that you collected or any of the money that you got or anything. So you either have to complete the stage or die in order to keep everything that you got. So that's why I just do that. And you just go into the weakest Pokemon that you have because they die in one hit. Alright. And this Battle Royale is actually on the trickier side out of the Battle Royales for some reason. If you're not careful, you can really lose a lot of time here. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those tricky ones. They can really get you if you're not careful. There's a lot of Pokemon that spawn, and like, there's 4 bosses instead of 3. And in order to spawn the 4th one, you have to kill at least one of the other bosses, which isn't that difficult. Again, it's just you have to be careful. You can't be too... you can't just be too all out and just kill everything super quick, because if you get hit by most of the moves by any of the bosses, they'll kill you in like 1 or 2 hits. Okay. I wanted to get those out of the way just because I was super effective against Golem, and Alakazam can really mess you up. Cool. That went really well. Got a really good Pokemon for this Battle Royale. Alright. So now on to debatably, probably the worst rank. And that's in terms of like, just the power that you can get and like the likelihood of Pokemon dropping. It's just so low for some reason. Oh, that's not it. Okay, we're just gonna go back into Hitmonlee. Okay. So, for whatever reason, it's kind of unlikely for you to get a Pidgeotto drop. Like, they only spawn in, like, the first 2 or 3 rooms, and they don't spawn that much. Nope, I don't want that. Okay. And then, on top of that, the power isn't that great for the Pidgeottos anyway. So you kind of have to get lucky with getting the one to drop and one to have a decent power. This one doesn't really have the best power. So I'm probably going to also try and get a Persian. Persians have really good walking speed, and they also have good move sets. So I could use Pidgeotto for movement, and then switch to Persian for fighting, or just use Persian for movement, something like that. If I get a good power for the Persian, that is. Because I'm already dead. Okay, so... go into Persian, and we're just gonna keep going. Okay, 306 isn't as bad. Okay. Okay, so go into the more powerful Persian. Pidgeotto will, just because the power of the Pidgeotto isn't that high. So we're just gonna stay in as the Persian. So we're just gonna its walking speed is pretty fast, and Persian it'll do better against the bosses than the Pidgeotto will. If you have any donations, the power of the Pidgeotto isn't that high. So we're just gonna stay with Persian right now. If you have any donations, you can read them right now if you want. I'm not sure if there is any, but.
There's no one donation, but I have some. There are some bits so that can people donate, like a airbound charter name bitware. You can donate in the page that I sent with the command of donate. And we have two, the Rabbit Ready custom bedware, one-shot ending bedware that is choosing the ending for the run, and the classic Super Metroid run, which is save or kill the animals.
Oh boy, save or kill the animals. Which one's winning right now?
R0 for both, so yeah.
0 for both?
Yep.
Oh man. So that means it defaults to kill, because I think kill is the fastest one. I think. So. Oh man, if you want them animals saved, you gotta donate, guys. Come on. So right now, especially with the RNG that we have, getting this Charizard to drop would be pretty useful. Charizard has a pretty decent move pool, and is also quite fast, so I think I'll be able to survive normal. Okay. Usually they do that after they kill, so. Okay. Alrighty. And I'm gonna stay in as Pidgeotto. Just because going in and switching out Pokemon just takes too much time for it to be really worth it, and they're about the same speed, so. I will switch out for this Kadabra though. Oof, that was really close. The power that I need for rank A is 400, so. Alright, so the boss for this is Gengar. The reason I kind of chose this route, the reason I chose the way I, like what order I go to stages is because of is mainly because of either the power of the Pokemon that could be in it, or the boss. The reason I go to the Eternal Tower last in rank A is because Gengar is so weak in defenses. It's better to go to him last just because you can kill him super easily anyway. Aerodactyl has the most defense out of the 3 bosses that we go to, so that's why we go to him first. And also because Quick Attack. And we're going back to the Rocky Cave because they have the best Pokemon for fighting. Quote unquote. Really, rank A is just kind of so bland. It's like, just whatever, honestly. Everything kind of, like, all the stages kind of bad for fighting Pokemon. So it's just like, what has the least worst? Oh, that's good RNG though. Alright, cool. Alright, so we got I'm a choke, and usually they're pretty good, and I'm just gonna bank on it being pretty good. Okay. So Seismic Toss. Kind of bad. If worst comes to worst, we have a Kadabra, and I'm probably gonna start with the Kadabra actually. Yeah. Okay. And that's a prime example of like just not having good moves, not for fighting and stuff like that. Like that Seismic Toss is not good for fighting. Kadabra isn't honestly that bad for the Battle Royale. It's just you have to be careful, like even more so, just because he's really bad with defenses and he has a range attack. so I have to make sure that I'm not too close to them. Because I'll miss them and then they'll just hit me and most likely kill me or get pretty close to death. So there's just a lot of maneuvering. That was scary. Woo! Okay. Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Okay. We got there. Alright. So I'm going to try them into my any percent passwords strats and kind of try to stay alive with this Kadabra for a bit. And what I mean by that is the Rattata is low power, so it can die really easily in rank S. But it's fast to use it. And that didn't work. Okay, that's fine. So basically what I'm going to try and do is just get a Pokemon right off the bat, just so that I have something to go on with. That's not the best moveset, but that's fine. But yeah, rank S is difficult, definitely. You have to be pretty careful during the entirety of the whole rank or stuff like that. Or like what just happened will happen. You'll die really early. I'm hoping to get a decent drop here. If I wait, like I think the next room I'll be able to get Charizards, and that's what I'm gonna be aiming for. So hopefully I can get a Charizard to drop. Alright, Air Slash is not a bad move at all. His power isn't that great, but we'll be fine. Whoops. Okay. That was almost bad. Whenever a boss flinches, it'll automatically do that move that pushes you away. So it's kinda not great to get a flinch. But alright. So and the reason we went to the Fiery Furnace first is because Moltres, one, has really good defense, And 2, there's just really good Pokemon in it, and since the I guess power drop from rank A to rank S is so drastic, I really need something quick and something that's good. So Fire Furnace has just a whole bunch of options that are fast and good for fighting, so that's why I go there first. Also, it is sometimes better to attack, especially if it doesn't kill, but it's sometimes better to attack than to kind of maneuver out of the way. Right there I kind of did just because there was a whole bunch of them in a line that was waiting for me that I wasn't going to be able to hit in time. But there's also like knockback canceling, so if I were to use a certain attack, it only works with certain attacks, but if I were to use like a tackle, for instance, on an attack that would make me, you know, have hit stun, it'll actually cancel out the momentum of me going backwards, and it'll just cancel it all out in general, and I'll just keep going, almost like I didn't get hit. I'm just gonna get the air tactile just in case. These movesets are not great. I got lucky with this Charizard to have Air Slash at least. I don't know if you guys are able to see the animation on the ground for the Alakazam with the special trait, but that's what it looks like. For being a special traded Pokemon. Let's see what these moves. Okay. Usually they have confusion. Okay. We're gonna go back to the Fire Furnace. It's kind of debatable. You can go to the Fire Furnace or the Rocky Cave. Both are pretty good candidates for getting good fighting Pokemon, or Pokemon for the Battle Royale. I just prefer the Fire Furnace. It's fine. Okay. Charizard. Getting a Charizard would be great. I like having Charizards. Just not getting nothing to drop right now. Dang. Yikes. Hey. I really need a 600 power. Before I die. Or before I get into this boss fight. Yikes. Alright. So this is a prime example of basically the worst RNG you can get. It's just not getting your power before the boss fight. I'm gonna try and see if I can get from any of these guys. Nope. Okay. I'm basically just gonna let Moltres kind of kill me off until, or if I can get a Arcanine to drop, that's 600. You could also just exit the stage since I didn't get the power that I needed, but I'm just gonna let this happen. Alright. Very unlike that S rank, honestly. Getting a 600 power is really not that hard, but you know, RNG is quite unpredictable. Well, that's not always true, but okay. So we're just gonna keep going back. We're just gonna go back into it. Sticking with Fire Furnace. There we go. Okay. It has Spark. That's not a bad move. Alrighty. So since I'm already quite behind, at least on my splits, I'm gonna just see something really quick. So the money that you get, you're able to just buy one Pokemon, and it can be something pretty decent. Let's see, Ancient Power Thunder Wave does not have good moves, so not useful. But, you know, give it a shot. Sometimes you can get something pretty good out of that, but... And this is the last Battle Royale. And also, I didn't get into it like in any of the other battle royals before this, but they take Pokemon from each rank or each stage that's in each rank, and they just randomize which ones, like what spawns. So like sometimes for the fiery furnace, let's just say, sometimes they can spawn like, well, like this one they spawn 3 dittos, which is really good RNG actually. But sometimes they can spawn like no dittos and a bunch of ponyta or rapidashes, or like for Eternal Tower they can spawn a bunch of like alakazams and stuff like that. So depending on that RNG too, is you can save a lot of time just because you can get Pokemon that spawn that have bad defenses. So that's another just little thing you have to look out for. Oh, okay. Okay. Where can I go with here, I guess? Hope for the power or the stat boost. So we have to kill one of these guys to get the secret boss to spawn. Bet you can't figure out who that secret boss is. Oh man, it's Mewtwo. They only hinted at it the entire time. Yeah, this wasn't the best idea. Okay. It was good. Not die. It was done. Okay, so let's go. Let's just play it safe and just go with Arcanine. Thunder Fang is a pretty solid move. Okay, that's not what I need. Alright, so, yeah. Alright. You win some, you lose some. Alright, so time is about to come up once we see congratulations on the screen. Just gonna get our last bit of money. Alright. And time. Okay. So that was Pokemon Rumble. Or any percent no passwords, maybe. Yeah. I didn't get to show off a lot of stuff that I probably would have liked to. The S rank was quite rough, but you know, it was still a pretty decent run. I have put a lot of time into this game, and I have it at the optimization that I definitely am content with, and that's just getting like, you know, good enough RNG to get better runs. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this run. I think it's an entertaining run to watch. And this little cutscene is just kind of showing that there's more to the game. So there's three other levels, or 2 other like main level story things. So we just did a run on normal mode, and then there's advanced, and then there's EX. But yeah, advanced and EX has Gen 4 Pokemon in it. So yeah, that's Pokemon Rumble. I think next is the Metroid Prime Trilogy run, so that's hype. So you guys should totally stick around and watch that, and then afterwards is Pokepark, and that's gonna be awesome. And if you want to see more of me and whatever I do, I'm actually doing a run of Super Smash Bros. Brawl Subspace later today, and also you could follow me on Twitch or Twitter or whatever. And yeah, I do this and Brawl a lot. But yeah, thanks guys, I appreciate it.
Alright, thank you so much for the run, RubberDuckyAssassin. That was a really cool run. And just as they said, coming up next is the Metroid Prime Trilogy, the Echoes, any% glitchless.